A very good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this wonderful session on the secret of pain-free work, how ergonomics can improve productivity. Habits formed in our daily activities, like staring at the computer, cradling the phone, slouching in a chair, or even just carrying groceries, can create painful body conditions. These conditions can be helped or prevented by incorporating good ergonomic techniques into daily routines and work sites. Dr. Riddhi Advani is with us today to take us through this journey. Dr. Riddhi is a physiotherapist with a demonstrated history of working in the health, wellness, and fitness industry with all around experience in the subject. She is skilled in yoga, ergonomic, physical therapy, orthopedic rehabilitation, and neurology with a specialization in advanced rehab techniques. Dr. Riddhi, a warm welcome to you. And without any further delay, I would like to hand over the floor to you. Over to you, Riddhi.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for such a beautiful intro.
It's my pleasure.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Hope you all are having an awesome Friday and looking forward to a great weekend. So, without further ado, we'll start with the webinar. So, here we all are to discuss how ergonomics is working for us. So, these days, you all would have heard follow ergonomics to improve your productivity. You should have a good posture while working. It helps you to avoid any kind of pain or ache while you're working. So here in this webinar, we'll discuss more about ergonomics. I think ergonomics would not be a new term for all of you. Ergonomics is, ergonomics is basically the art of syncing the worker and the workplace along with each other. The more in sync you with each other, the better outcome it is going to be. So, with your workplace would involve your syncing up with your desk and chair, with your office, your environment, everyone around you. It ultimately involves a lot of activity which results in a good outcome in your work. So, wherein if you will come across when you are sitting while working, if your desk and chair are not ideal or if you're not comfortable in that, for some amount of time, definitely you might feel okay. It is I am able to work properly. But if you're sitting in that wrong posture for a long amount of time, certainly you land up with a lot of back pain, neck pain, wrist pain. You tend to leave your work for some time. Okay, I am troubling, I am getting troubled with this pain. Let me just take a break. Or maybe when the pain is too much, you might even taken off from work. So our basically goal here with ergonomics is like the worker, the workplace, it should be optimally in sync with each other so that muscles are at rest, you have a proper blood flow, there is no injury to your muscles, there is no illness, your productivity at work is maximum, and to interact and to improvise and improve your interaction with everything that is around you. Why is ergonomics so important for you? Like we all see in today's work, we are glued to our laptops. We don't really have much of an active lifestyle. And with offices starting up and again that same routine picking up, going to office and traffic and just rushing up for work, sitting at work for like almost the whole day. So if you don't have a proper desk and chair setup, one thing that you result in maybe sit in a wrong posture for a long amount of time. You don't have any activity, meetings throughout the day, calls throughout the day. There's no time for any exercise, and working on the laptop for an extended period of time, results in a lot of pain in your wrist, your fingers, your elbow, and neck. Maybe even many people may even have complaints of knee pain. So here, this picture depicts how your ideal sitting posture should be, how your desk and chair setup should be. Like most of us now have moved to office would have been having an ideal desk and chair setup that would help you. But here I would still like to enhance, even if you have a proper desk and chair setup, many of times we don't arrange it according to our height or our build. So here I would like to mention some key takeaways from this picture, like if you are using a laptop and if you think your laptop is just either too below your eye level or to high up your eye level, I would suggest you to suggest you to arrange it in such a way that your monitor is at your eye level and you're directly gazing at it. If it is too low, you can prop it up with some with a laptop mount, or maybe you can keep some book below it so that it is mounted to your eye level. And if the keyboard is not in proper access to you, maybe you can ask for a separate keyboard. Nowadays, I think many offices, they give you provisions of an extra laptop or an extra monitor, extra keyboard for your convenience. Always adjust your chair to your height. If it is too low or too high, you're not going to be comfortable. If it is too low, ultimately your knees are higher than your hips and you land up with back pain and hip pain. And if it is too high, your feet are dangling in the air, then also you tend to land up with knee pain and ankle pain. Always your feet should be supported either on the ground, and if it is too high, you can ask for a mount so that your feet are properly supported on something. Like in this picture, you can see the feet are properly fixed on the ground. Always try to sit straight in the chair. Don't lean too much back or too much in front. Always keep your arms and elbows properly supported. Your mouse should be in proper reach to you. It should not be too far away from you that you're leaning over it. Always try to use a wrist pad that gives rest to your wrist and proper support to your wrist so that much of stress is not on the fingers. So once you've done with setting up your desk and chair setup, but ultimately what we're seeing here that because of work we have to sit for a long amount of time. There is no escaping that. So one thing what we can do here, this is not something new for all of us. You would have heard a lot. Sitting is a new smoking. Sitting is, sitting for a long time is a new killer in everyone's life. No, it does not really kill you. I mean, like, it's just that maybe repercussions that come with it, the things which follow it may make you more ill, or maybe can lead to some other problems itself. So try and incorporate some kind of activity in your life. Try to make it more healthy with the proper nutrition, sunlight exposure. Try to include some kind of movement between your day-to-day routine. Maybe you can take a call while walking or take a break, go and drink some water. That also kind of gives you a break from sitting. So now when we say sitting is a new smoking, why do we actually call that? With sitting, you would see a lot of loss in muscle strength, a lot of pain, anxiety, depression. We feel we are missing out on a lot. We sitting in just one place with no interaction much with others. Maybe the only interaction we have is with others on call. Maybe through a meeting, but that's nothing different. Sometimes many people, because of the same monotonous life, we also feel a lot anxious. And when you're sitting for a long amount of time, it also leads to heart diseases. If it does not lead to a heart disease directly, but when you're sitting for a long amount of time, your blood flow, your backflow to the heart is reduced. That causes heart diseases. That predisposes more to diabetes, more to heart disease, more to varicose veins. I think these must be a little, more cumbersome names for you, or maybe a little scarier. They aren't really bad, but these are the effects that come with sitting for a long amount of time. So I think with all of you working for a lot of time on the laptop, maybe this must not be a new thing for you. You guys must be having a conversation between yourselves that, oh, okay, today my neck is really sore, or my back is really giving way, and I don't want to come to office today. I wish I could get a break, or my lower back is hurting. One complaint which I've seen in my practice, the most common complaint in patients these days are carpal tunnel syndrome, pain in your wrist, numbness in your fingers, in your elbows. That is something, and even neck pain. Most of my patients who are into corporate or who are working on a laptop for a long amount of time, these are some of the most common complaints I could see in patients. neck pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, tennis elbow. I think you would have heard many sports persons too telling you similar complaints. Oh, okay, tennis elbow. I think some major sports person also had it recently. Coming after your bones and your muscles, what comes next is working for a long amount of time on a laptop. I think you'll feel your eyes are really dry. Okay, my eyes are hurting. I really feel I'm not able to see properly, or my gaze is affected, my vision is going down. Many a times it's not with your vision, it's actually because of dry eye. Because you're looking at the laptop continuously, not even blinking, not giving them any break. Your eye lens is completely focused on the laptop. Your eyes also need some exercise. It's not very evidently said in our life that okay, do some eye exercises. Just we what we mean by exercise, okay, maybe some dumbbells or some walk or some HIIT exercise or something like that. But even your eyes need exercise. Eyes also have muscles, and if you don't give a break to them or don't exercise them, then you can land up a problem with them too. And sitting all day, just having your food, not getting any break, sitting for a long amount of time, we also tend to land up with obesity, which I think is one of the biggest things that has come up with everyone. I think after work from home and everyone getting back to office, I think the next big thing that is put up now is like, oh, okay, I've put on so much of weight after sitting for after being at home for 2 to 3 years and no break. I've put on a lot of weight. I've become obese. Now I want to reduce weight. All these things are majorly more also enhanced because of work from home. And I think work from home, many of us could not even get a break. Work was going throughout the day. So here I think we can discuss some remedies too. So these kind of remedies, when instead of being reactive, if we don't have these pains, we can also be proactive. We can include these kind of remedies when between our work. When we are sitting on a laptop continuously, no break, what happens is our neck muscles, which are supporting our head and neck, they're constantly working. So they undergo fatigue, they undergo tiredness, and because of the tiredness, we tend to get this pain. So if you do these remedies, these movements, these exercises, what happens? Fatigue does not set in. Your muscles get a break. Blood supply to that part is increased to a huge extent. They wash out the metabolites. Your fatigue doesn't set in. The pain is not there. It helps a lot for neck pain. So these are also some exercises for back pain. These are also some proactive exercises, and I've purposely included some exercises which you can do without having to, take a huge break from your work. Maybe sit at your chair, take a break for a minute or two, do these exercises. They just give some space to your joints, just give some mobility to your joint. I've purposely included those kind of things which you can do very easily at your workplace, or maybe if you're working from home, it is not going to take any kind of an effort, just a minute or two from your side. These kind of proactive measures go a long way. So coming to the next slide, this is carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, might sound something extremely fancy, or okay, now what is this? Sounds really weird, or something big, but it's not actually that troublesome. What you all would have seen after working on laptop for a long time, we experience a lot of pressure in our wrist. We feel we have a dull and a deep pain in our wrist, or maybe our palm is aching, or the last 2 or 3 fingers are getting numb. My palm is getting numb. I'm not able to feel anything. Or maybe this pain with carpal tunnel syndrome is more pronounced at night. Many a times we get patients who complain specifically that this pain is unbearable at night. In the day, maybe, it's not that much. We experience some kind of numbness. We are able to work, but at night it gets really troublesome, and I'm not able to sleep. My sleep is disturbed. Next morning I have to report to work. It's affecting my work. It's affecting my lifestyle. And One more common complaint that you'll notice in carpal tunnel syndrome, that your power, your ability to grip things or hold things is decreased to a huge extent. You feel things are just slipping off from my hand, or if I'm trying to write, pen is just slipping off from my hand. Maybe in that case, if you're experiencing these kind of symptoms, maybe you're suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome. In this picture, you would be able to see this is an atypical area of pain and numbness. And here where we can see transverse carpal ligament. This is a ligament that binds the wrist. You have major arteries and nerves passing through here. When this area gets tight, there's a lot of pressure on your arteries and your veins, and you get a throbbing pain, a numbing pain. You feel okay, the pain is so much. Either you feel your wrist is throbbing, or just no strength left. It's getting extremely numb. So these are some of the exercises which can help here. Carpal tunnel syndrome exercises. These are just basic range of motion exercises. What these exercises do, they improve the blood flow in these areas, and the muscles which have got tight because of numbness and which were not usually used while working, they get a break, and the pain is reduced to a huge extent. Along with these exercises, I would suggest you always use an ice pack on your wrist. That works really well in carpal tunnel syndrome. Sounds very simple, but what happens when you apply ice over your wrist or your hand? That inflammation which is there, that because of a lot of pressure on your wrist, your arteries and nerves they get trapped into a lot of pressure. With ice, that pressure is reduced, and all your symptoms just get reduced on its own with ice and these exercises. It works really well. Another one I think you would have noticed is a lot of pain in your elbow. This one pinpoint tenderness in your outer side of the elbow. You would feel if while watching this video, many of them, if you can try touching your elbow now, and maybe you can notice a pain here. And when you touch here, the pain spreads to your forearm, sometimes even goes to your fingers. Then possibly you might be suffering from this elbow. This happens because of you gripping the mouse almost all your day. When you're extending your fingers like this, these muscles are ultimately attached here. So when these are overworked, the pain the pain goes and gets accumulated here. When you touch here, this pinpoint, if you're getting pain, possibly you're suffering from mouse elbow, and it's apart from mouse elbow, it's also called tennis elbow, because this condition is quite prominent in tennis players also. I think this was pretty much in news some time back. Some prominent player too had the same complaint. So to remediate these, we have these exercises. Some forearm stretching exercises, gripping exercises, ice. Maybe you can wear a wristband or an elbow band that reduces pressure on the elbow when you're holding something. These are also some finger exercises. When we are suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome and mouse elbow, our grip is affected to a huge extent. You are not able to turn a knob, or ladies would experience this quite frequently. They are not able to cook, or circular movement in which they move the ladle. They're not able to do that, or open the car door. That also is painful because that needs a gripping movement, or maybe hold a pen and write, or hold something in their hand. Even holding a glass gets painful in the advanced stages. So these finger exercises improve the finger strength, your grip strength, and reduce the symptoms. If anyone needs these exercise charts, I would be sharing it with Ethica. They can pass it on to you, that you can follow up these exercises in your daily routine. These are some general exercises which you can do just at one place, improving your mobility. Maybe you don't go out, some general mobility exercises to get some activity in your life if you think you are not getting enough time to go out, to work out, or not just able to squeeze in any workouts. These are basic exercises which you can do at your chair: leg raises, knee exercises, back exercises, basic squats. I think with these days everyone is so much focused on exercise and being active that I think this must not be something new to everyone. But if it is, even I would really suggest you involve some kind of activity in your life. It, these are perfect examples of that. You don't need to go to a gym, or you don't need to do a big deal of exercise to get fit, or maybe involve some activity into your life. Maybe you can just go for a walk after a meal, maybe take a call along with it. I think that's multitasking and it is going to help you a lot. So one term that we came across here was deep vein thrombosis. I would really like to mention here that this is one of the leading things that all the sittings of professionals face. Because we're sitting for a long amount of time and we're not able to move our legs much. All our blood tends to pool in your lower, in your, in your calves, in your feet. You all would have noticed your feet are usually swollen most of the times after a day at work. You feel okay, there's pins and needles and tingling feeling, or as if an ant is biting into my leg. All these symptoms are like suggestive of a lot of fluid accumulation in your legs, a lot of blood getting accumulated in your leg. When maybe a day or two, it is not going to harm you much. But if it is prolonged and it is happening every day, the blood is not able to get back. What happens is your arteries, which are there in the calf region, they are not able to hold that much of blood, and then they get extended, they get broad, and they are not able. Arteries usually are elastic structures. Even if you are not getting much of a movement, they should be able to pump up the blood back. But what happens if it is happening every day? They get engorged, they get distended, they become a little loose, like a rubber band. If you will, or a balloon, आप उसमें जितना पानी भरोगे, after a point it is going to get loose, right? After a point they get distended. They are not able to send back or pump back all the blood back to your heart, or the blood tends to cool down in your feet. So when the blood is settling there in your feet, blood has a tendency to clot. When it is just cooled down in your lower extremity, it forms small little clots. And when it starts forming clots, that is the time when actual problem comes up. If this clot, if there are very small clots, okay, it is not going to cause you any trouble. But if the clots are big, and when with improved blood supply they move back and they just go and get trapped in your heart or any organ, then they can cause a real trouble there. That is something that we all should be mindful of. And between your any episode of sitting for a long amount of time, I would suggest to follow these remedies wherein you see that this foot pump exercise. All you have to do is just move your ankle up and down. That causes calf movement and causes it forces the blood out of the calf back to the heart. So there is less risk of forming clots there. You can just raise your legs up and down, move your ankle in circles, or maybe lift your knee up and down. As simple as they are, but they work really well in preventing any kind of clots. Now, as we spoke, we experience a lot of dryness in our eyes after working for a long amount of time. What happens? Our eyes, they have a water film over them. When you're gazing, when you're not blinking much, that water film, it tends to get used up, or it's just dried up. You need to blink more frequently. You need to improve your hydration when or you're not blinking much, or your laptop it's too bright. That also causes decrease in your eye hydration a lot. You feel I'm not able to see properly, or um, um, my vision is impaired, or what I'm seeing is not very clear. So that is because of a difference in your hydration. Also because when you're gazing at one point for a long amount of time, your Your eye accommodation that goes in for a toss. Your eyes muscles, they need a break. How you can give a break to them, maybe you can blink your eyes more often, or you can watch you can try to look at objects which are at different distances, like your laptop is quite close to you. Okay, your eyes are accommodated to watching at that distance. Now, how do those muscles get a break? Okay, one set of muscle is working there, it is getting fatigued. Now let's get some rest for that muscle. Now let's use some other muscles which are used for watching, for seeing at a distance. Then maybe you can focus at something which is a little far away, something which is a little even further away. Is a way you exercise your eyes. Maybe you would have heard a lot of exercises wherein we move our eyes up and down. See here, we'll see. We move our eyeballs up, down, sideways. These exercises, they exercise all the muscles around your eyes. Different kind of muscles control your eyeball movement in different direction and even different distances. You would have heard doctors or ophthalmologists telling you, okay, focus on something which is closer to your eye, and then focus on something which is further, something which is even more further. These are exercises which help your eyes relax, help better accommodation to your eyes, and you should blink your eyes more often. Flash your eyes with water to improve your eye hydration. You can use certain many drops you get, like refreshed tears, which act as artificial tears to your eyes, which moisten your eyes and improve your vision. Coming to one of the most well-known terms these days, posture. We say, okay, we got this pain because we had a bad posture because of sitting for a long amount of time, or I don't have a good posture. That is why maybe I landed up with back pain or something. So here in this picture, we can see what a good posture is, what a poor posture is. For an ideal posture, your back should be straight, knees should be in alignment. If you can assume a line passing through your ears, it should pass through your shoulders, just between your pelvis and your buttocks, between your knees. It should fall in front of your ankles. That should be an ideal posture. You should not just bending too much in front, or maybe bending too much behind, or just thinking you're standing with a hunch. Those are examples of bad posture. When you are in a good posture, why it is so important? When you are in an optimal posture, your muscles, most of the muscles are in relaxed position. But when you are in a wrong posture, what happens? Your muscles, which ideally should be relaxed, are either stretched or they tend to be really tight. That is a problem. That is a stage where all the problems actually start. Those muscles are which is stretched, as in this figure that you see, forward head posture. Your neck is stooping in front and your upper back is just going behind. That is one of the most common postures you see in people who work on laptop for a long amount of time. We focus on the laptop, we just bend and we don't realize, okay, I'm bending too much towards the laptop. We're just thinking of whatever work is being assigned to us. Okay, I have to finish this. In all this, our posture is not something that we have been paying attention to. What happens here? You land up with neck pain and upper back pain here. And I think most of us, this is the most common complaint that comes to me. I have a neck pain and an upper back pain. This is something which comes together. And many a times, along with this, frozen shoulder or stiff shoulder is what follows next. These are one of the most common complaints that I see in my regular practice for people who are working on a laptop for a long amount of time. I think most of you would relate to it. I think some people, if you're facing the same, please, you can mention it in messages so that when at the end of the session, we can take you up. So after a long day of work, we finally get time to sleep, and we think of, okay, what a tiring day, and let's just unwind. So wherein if you have a right posture to sleep, you can rest your body more nicely. Your muscles are more at rest. You can get up more fresh the other morning, rid of pain in it. Here I would like to share some ideal postures in which you can relax your body to the max. You can keep a pillow between your legs that relaxes your hip points, a pillow below your knees when you're sleeping that relaxes your lower back, which is working throughout the day when you are sitting. These are some of the break exercises I shared. Again, purposely shared the exercises which you can do just at your chair. Ideally, I would suggest for every 1 hour that you work, you should take 5 minutes of break. A break that gives a break to your exercise, your joints as well. Some basic exercises. I've tried to include all the exercises for all your body parts here, wherein you would be exercising your neck, your shoulders, your upper back, your pelvis, calf muscles, your trunk, your hamstrings, legs, your arms, your wrist. I've tried to include exercises for all of them. All these exercises, even if you would do it once or twice, are not going to take more than a minute and very easily doable just at your seat. This is again our office version of Surya Namaskar. Those ladies who do not get any time at home, just rushing for work in the morning. So, okay, I have to reach the office on time and I have no time to exercise. I have brought you a chair version of Surya Namaskar that you can do in your office. Maybe just grab it a minute or two and try to do this. This includes all the joints, your neck, your shoulder, everything. So I think many of us would be relating to this today. Like since it's a Friday, many of them would be working from home, and as now, like I think most of the companies have been calling their employees to office, and some who were not called. This is pretty much a similar or a lighter scenario for us who are working from home. So while you're working from home, posture is not something that you have to be mindful for only in office. What we all saw in our COVID times was we have to be very mindful about our postures while working at home also. We did not have a proper desk and chair setup while we were working, and that was also one reason we all experienced a major burnout while working at home. No proper desk and chair setup. We were just working from wherever we wish to, maybe sometime from the sofa, sometime from our bean bag, our bed, our dining table, wherever we just got up time for, and we just finished all our meetings and calls and got done with it, but also landed up with a lot of troubles. So posture while working has to be mindful of even at home. Try to find out any place, not something maybe not everyone has a fancy setup of proper desk and chair setup. Maybe tend to make some makeshift arrangements. Try to sit and work, or even if you're standing and working, sometimes you can stand and work also to take a break from sitting. If you are standing, try to keep your laptop at a level or at any place where it is at your eye level. That's the only thing that you be mindful for when you're working and standing. And when you're working in a sitting posture, maybe on a dining table, or maybe if you're sitting on a sofa, you can keep a table and prop your laptop up with some books or a pillow so that it is at your eye level. Some small hacks which you can use to make your workspace a little better, a little more pain-free. These are some simple yoga poses which we all can do at home. Some basic stretching exercises, some twists, some forward bending postures. And all of these help to relax your body after a long day at work. Ideally, I would suggest you doing this exercise either early in the morning or before bed. It relaxes your body to a huge extent. Can be done from the comfort of your house as well. Here I've shared some exercises for your calf, for your lower extremity, shoulders, your wrist. So coming to your mind and body and soul, and what relaxation does to your body. Give yourself a 5 minute break after every hour, after every 55 minutes of your work. Give your mind a break, give your eyes a break. Try to, just take that 5 minutes for yourself. Just try to maintain your sanity in those 5 minutes. Try to do some exercises, some chair exercises which I shared with you. Try to blink your eyes. Maybe you can get up and grab a coffee, or go and drink some water. That includes some movement too, and get water for yourself. Improve your hydration. Take a break. Maybe you can go and get some fresh air. Relax your muscles. Give your mind a break. Try to take timely meals, eat on times, snack on healthy things. Always carry healthy snacks with yourself, something from your home, or if your office provides you meals, you can opt for nuts, or something like makhanas or peanuts. You can always opt for healthy snacking. Always include salads with your meal. Always improve your hydration. Keep a water bottle with yourself if you're not getting time to get up. Or please go and get up and get some water after every hour. Exercise. If you're not able to go out, at least exercise at your workplace, or maybe sitting at your workplace. Try to inculcate some movement between your work. Sleep for 8 hours. I think it's easier said than done. I know we can't really get that much of uninterrupted sleep, but try to get proper rest. So here I've shared some healthy foods that you can include in your diet. Some protein foods. Protein are the building blocks of our body, the repairing foods of our body. It would include dairy products, pulses, legumes, seafood, chicken, fruits and vegetables, which form the vitamin and fiber component of our body, carrots, some salads, citrus fruits. You can try and get some vitamin D, which is very essential for your bones and your joints, with food, egg yolk, cheese, milk products, dairy products. But here, and I would like to mention, sunlight is a major source of vitamin D. You don't need to eat anything. If someone is here on a diet, I would like to tell them vitamin D is dietary. That is something that you don't need to eat anything for. You just need to go out and stand in sunlight. And when you're deficient in vitamin D, if you would have noticed, depression cases were at the max after COVID. Okay, staying at home was one reason. You could not socialize. That was one reason. Some people really got anxious after COVID. Okay, what if it happens to us? But deficiency of vitamin D was also one of the major factors that landed in depression. Vitamin D is one of the major factors which helps you prevent depression. So that is something we all should be mindful of, that we get some time in sunlight every day. Try to just get some kind of sunlight, maybe in the morning, or around 10, 11 o'clock. Maybe if you have a call, just go for a walk outside your office. So these are some of the smart guidelines that I've shared here, which would include some stretching, some movements, and add some variety to your life. Try to inculcate some sport activities, or maybe plan out something with your friends wherein you play some indoor game with your friends, or maybe just impromptu some kind of matches, some kind of you can make a plan with your friends, maybe play cricket, play football or tennis, or any kind of activities which gives you time to bond, de-stresses you, gives you activity. You can include these kind of activities. And last but not the least, you can always talk to us if you have any troubles with this, or if you're facing any kind of troubles like these. We are always there to help you. With
Uh,
this, now, yeah.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation that you have made for us, Riddhi. Really, that is a great thing, that what we have to know and how we have to do exercises and how we can work without any pain is really, really very important to all of us. And I hope all the participants are feeling the same. So Before we move to the Q&A section, I would like to take this opportunity to launch a poll to understand how everyone liked the session. And I want to tell one thing, that this poll will help us to curate many more sessions like this and bring many good trainers like Riddhi on board. So I request everyone to answer the poll that you see on your screens. So while the poll runs, if anyone want to ask any question, you can just raise your hands so that I can move you to panel. You can ask your question directly to Riddhi. And also you can post your questions in the chat box and also in the Q&A section. We have a raised hand, Sheikh Suleiman. Sheikh Suleiman. Sheikh Suleiman, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Sheikh Suleiman, you there? We have Anuja Bashim. If you can hear me, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question to Dr. Riddhi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Rudy. So I have just one question, that how can we improve our metabolism, because our life is very sedentary. So with the help of food, how we can do that?
To improve your metabolism, the first thing that works key here is improve your hydration. Drink a lot of water. When you drink a lot of water, your metabolism speeds up a lot. Try adding lemon to your water. And also, if you would increase your fiber content through salad, your metabolism would improve to a huge extent. Try to eat your salads before your meals because they slow down your sugar curve and they improve your digestion. Your metabolism is definitely going to speed up a lot after that. Water is the key factor here. Water gets everything moving very quick. It speeds up your digestion very fast.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, because I face this thing a lot, because I have been gaining weight since I have been, working through home. So that's why I used to exercise, but I have stopped it as well. So I think I have to regain all these things. So before that, I have to, correct my diet and then move along with the exercises.
I can relate to you. What you can do, you can arrange your, you can set up your diet in such a way. What you can do is try in like, how much of water do you take in a day?
I usually take 6 to 7 bottles in a day. I meant to say that it's a 1 liter bottle, so you can say 6 to 7 liters.
6 to 7 liters you drink in a day. That's
Yeah,
very good, actually.
I get very thirsty.
No, it's actually good. If you're feeling thirsty and if you're drinking that much of water, then your
Yeah.
metabolism is fine. Actually, what you need to work out here is you have to, set up your diet in such a way. Try, include, try including protein foods in your diet. After eating protein food, you won't feel hungry for a long amount of time. Protein does not get converted to sugar directly. So your
Okay.
weight loss would be reduced to a huge extent. Start with your salad. Eat your salad first. After
Yes.
that, eat your protein. Whichever
Okay.
protein, if you're a non-vegetarian, you can take chicken, you can take eggs, you can take fish. Those are examples of complete protein. And in veg, complete protein examples would be soya bean, tofu, paneer. You can make different kind of things with it. Maybe something like a chili paneer, wherein you can add capsicums, onions, and any kind of vegetables that you want.
Yes.
And
Okay.
you can take, if when you start with salad and then come to your protein, your carb content will reduce automatically because you won't feel much hungry after eating all of this. Maybe after eating, maybe you can eat paneer sabzi with roti or maybe some chicken gravy, chicken curry with rice. But when you start with your salad, and when you come to your main meal, eat a lot
Yes.
of chicken, less gravy and rice, you're going to be full very soon. Your carb content is going to go down on its own and you will reduce weight. Also, one more thing which is to be pointed out here, after every meal, try to go for a 15 to 20-minute walk if you can. And if you can't go for a walk, at least don't sit directly.
Yeah. Okay.
So when
Yes.
you are eating, your sugar just goes up directly. So what we do when there's a sugar rise in your blood, and if you go for a walk at that time,
Hmm.
Sugar gets automatically utilized by your muscles while walking. So very less of it is going to be deposited in your body as fat. You will ultimately lose your weight without any exercise or very little activity also.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rudy. That was my concern. Thanks a lot for the information.
Hope I could help you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Radhi, for that wonderful answer. We have a question in the chat box. Harita is asking, will CTS exercises suitable for wrist ganglion?
Just a minute, I'll just check on that. 1 second. I'll try to get onto the chat box. CTS exercises suitable for wrist ganglion. Yes, it does work very well for the wrist ganglion too. For the wrist ganglion, if you can consult any orthopedician if you want. If it is too big, you will have to need to take an orthopedic consultation if they want to reduce that bulge. And if it is not too much, basic exercises would work too.
And we have one more question in the chat box. Rajesh is asking, he was suffering from cervical radiculopathy before 3 years. Now he is taking care of posture and proper positioning, laptop and etc. very well. But still, every after 2 to 3 months, he feels neck pain for a couple of days. So, any suggestions for that to overcome his pain and all?
Yes. Maybe you can consult any physiotherapist who can do ISTM for you. What is happening with maybe you're maintaining a good posture and everything. I would like to, if Rajesh can come directly to speak, I can ask him a few questions and maybe help him out.
Rajesh? I'll try to move into the panel. Rajesh, now if you can hear me, you can just unmute yourself and Dr. Reddy wants to talk to you.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Rajesh. How are you?
Hello, ma'am. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. So, like I was suffering from cervical radiculopathy before 3 years, right? And due to that, I had to like take a break of almost 3 to 4 weeks from my regular work. I am in IT industry, so I have to sit against my laptop or desktop for a long duration, right? And I also had to like use the neck collar to overcome these pain due to the cervical radiculopathy. So no doubt, now it has been improved a lot, but still, after taking like all the precautions and taking proper positioning of laptop and everything, after every 2 to 3 months, I still suffer from like a neck pain for a couple of days, and then I have to like again take some rest. So whatever suggestions that you have provided in this presentation, no doubt that is very helpful. But in addition to that, if anything that I need to follow to overcome this regular neck pain.
Yes. One thing that you should be mindful of when you're working is, Rajesh, always keep your chin tucked. I think if you would have taken physiotherapy with someone, they would have told you this exercise, chin tucking exercise. Keep a finger on your chin and tuck it back. Okay, like this. When you're in this position while working, your spine is in neutral position, and you will, get fewer pain complaints when you're working. Try to incorporate this movement in your daily life, and wherein you already have pain, try to just check your pillows and your bed. If you're using, how many pillows do you use?
Just a single.
Just a single one. Is it hard or soft?
No, it's soft.
Okay. Are you comfortable with it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what you can do is try changing to a towel roll, or you would have heard of cervical pillow.
No.
Okay. So what you can do, you can take a Turkish towel, make a roll out of it, below your neck, the curve which you have in your neck, below your neck, and you rest. So that is going to relax your neck. What happens when working for a long amount of time, your muscles they get stiff and they're not able to relax, or just come to their normal position even when you're resting. You can keep that cervical pillow or that towel roll. It lets the muscles relax and come to its original shape and position. That is going to help you a lot with muscle spasm. You can even use hot bath, and maybe you can try out, check some physiotherapist for ISTM or dry cupping.
Okay.
Okay, I hope I could help you, Rajesh.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Whatever suggestions that you have provided, I will follow, and I hope that would help me to overcome the regular neck pain. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that answer. And we have one more question. We have one more question in the chat box. That Anjibabu Sirikonda is saying that he is suffering from lumbar spondylosis from the past 6 months. So whatever the exercise you have shared, will that help him out to overcome that?
Yes, definitely. If you're experiencing any kind of tingling or numbness in your feet, I would suggest you can even wear a lumbar belt. And I would suggest you can even check out core rehab program on the net. That is going to help you a lot with your lumbar spondylosis. If you're overweight, try to reduce some weight. You can check out for abdominal strengthening exercises. That is going to help you a lot. Core rehab and abdominal strengthening exercises.
Thank you for that answer. And we have one more question in the chat box. So the question is, how good is using standing desks while working? And is working with standing desk for long also can create trouble in any other way?
Standing desks are always good while working, but whenever you are in a sustained posture for a long time, it is actually going to be troublesome. You need to change your postures. Any kind of sustained posture is going to lead to pain. Either you're sitting for a long amount of time or standing for a long amount of time. You won't be able to stand for a long amount of time to get tired. You should alternate between sitting and standing. That is actually ideal.
Great. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, Shruti. We'll see that we may get any questions. So we got one more question.
Yeah, I've read the question, Venkat. So he's jammed his little finger 6 months back due to hit of basketball. The pain and swelling subsided in a week with analgesics, but the movement is still not flexible like earlier. Okay. What you can do is, if the pain is still there, I would suggest buddy taping, wherein this is a finger that is painful. You can strap the ring finger and the little finger together for a few days, so that if there is even a minor strain to any of the ligaments around your finger joints, that will get time to heal. That is if you still have pain. And if there is only loss of flexibility, you can take some hot soaks for it and slowly try to introduce movement to itself. Your any joint going stiffness after any kind of injury is common, because that is a way your body heals yourself. Because that's your body's way of creating protection for that joint. When that is healed and when there is no pain, you will slowly have to move it with your own hand to improve mobility. And to make it more smoother and easier, try to introduce heat to that body part. Either maybe you can take up a physiotherapy session. So you can go for paraffin wax bath, Or maybe if you don't want to go to a physiotherapist, you want to do it at home, you can take a hot pack, or maybe you can soak your hand in a hot tub with some salt and then do these movements. But getting stiffness in your finger is actually a body's protective mechanism, because maybe you got some injury around your ligaments. Your body, what it does when it heals, it forms a protective coat or some callus formation around that ligament and that injured part to protect it. Because of that, you get the stiffness. So when the pain has subsided, you start with movement on your own. You'll have to do some mobility, some kind of movement with your other hand to improve the range.
Yeah, thank you so much for that answer, Riddhi. And we have one more question. Priyanka is asking, what is the ideal food to take in a day?
The ideal food, one thing what a dietitian would suggest is try to include protein in all your meals. So if you're a vegetarian, what for breakfast, try to include, what by saying that, what I mean it's you just you don't have to take just protein. You have to have a balanced meal wherein it should have protein, some fiber, some vegetables, and some amount of good carbs. So maybe protein is something that an typical diet misses. Proteins are your body's building blocks. And if you don't take that, your diet is never complete. You have to be very mindful of protein. What we have been fed is, okay, you took dal, that means you took protein. No, it is not like that. Dal is majorly carb, less of protein. So you have to take a complete source of protein. For vegetarians, maybe, you can take paneer, tofu, soya bean, this kind of proteins. And dal does contain protein, but it is deficient of other amino acids which are essential. So you have to take dal along with some rice or some carb or some, grain, make it a complete protein. So maybe you can take some little portion of dal and rice, some quality protein along with it, maybe some paneer starter or some a little bit of soya bean starter, some salad. If you're taking rice, carb is done. That is a kind of meal that you should take. Balance it out. So for breakfast, ideal combinations, if I would take maybe, besan chila with some paneer, or a moong dal chila, or some, a good dosa with coconut chutney, idli. Idli is actually a very good option. It is fermented, it is steamed, and dal and rice combination along with coconut chutney. Coconut is a good fat. So these are kind of ideal meal combinations. For for lunch and dinner, maybe you can take some. If you're a non-vegetarian, maybe you can include egg, you can take ragi mudde, you can take jolad roti, brown rice. These are the kind of meals I would suggest you to take. For fiber, maybe you can take kosambari or palya. These include dals as well as vegetables, act as salads, act as vegetables, some good side dishes. These kind of meals I would suggest. They're very healthy for your life. And also, I think, ideally, vegetable oils are something which cause major inflammation in your body. You can switch over to ghee or maybe, olive oil. Ghee is very healthy. Olive oil is good. Coconut oil is good. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that answer. Uh, so we have one more question in the chat box from Tushar Arora. He's saying that his lower back always get hurts specifically from left side, even though he's doing regular exercises on daily basis. So what might be the reason and how we can overcome without pain?
If you have not had any injury and if there is no specific cause to your back pain, try to pay attention. Maybe you are bending on one side during walking. Maybe you have some mild amount of scoliosis. Get yourself checked. Maybe when you're bending, when you're working, you're bending on one side like this for a long time. That is why one side of the back is tight. Try hanging. Try some stretching exercise wherein, like maybe hanging or tadasana. Try exercises like that. and by bending to the right side so that your left part gets stretched. Maybe you might be developing mild scoliosis. You should get yourself there. If you have not had any specific injury to your left side.
So one more question from Harita. She's saying that, can you suggest some home remedies or stretches for growth pains in toddlers?
Yes. Growth pain is very common amongst toddlers. What you should be, they need some exercises, right? Yeah. They're asking for diet or exercises?
Exercises. Some
Okay.
stretches or...
Okay. For growth pain exercises would be, one would be running and one would be hanging. These two help a lot with growth pain because when you're growing, in kids, your bones are not fused. So when you go for exercises like hanging or running, growth pain is reduced to a lot of extent.
Right, Dr. Riddhi, there's one question from Veena. It says, what can be done for the dextroscoliosis spinal? If you can just throw some light.
Yeah, dextroscoliosis is, I would like to know which side it is and what is the cause behind it, because that would decide the course of it. If it is not because of any injury, maybe if you've not had any spondylolisthesis, then if you can stand straight and if it is mild, exercises will help you. But if it is too much, you need to wear a brace. You will have to get an X-ray done, and stretching exercises to the opposite side would help them. Here, knowing the side of the scoliosis and the cause would be important. Another would be stretching to the opposite side would help them.
Thank you. And one more question from Isaac Sheikh. He's suffering from frozen shoulder during COVID period, and then it went on its own. What could be the causes?
The frozen shoulder is one disease which has its own course. One is a freezing phase, and one is a frozen phase, and one is, thawing phase, as in, when you recover. Frozen shoulder, it gets treated on its own also. When it's a freezing pain, you will experience a lot of pain in the shoulder, but your range would be full. You would have a lot of pain in your shoulder. You would say, when I'm moving it, I'm having a lot of pain. And after that, when the frozen stage is, the pain would subside and you will face a lot of stiffness in your shoulder. You will not be able to move your shoulder. You will not be able to take your shoulder beyond this range or maybe take it back. And after that, it would be, this thawing phase wherein the stiffness and the pain would be gone. Frozen shoulder gets treated on its own, but it does take its course. It takes a huge time. For some people, it is around 2 to 2.5 years. So it's better to get it treated in the initial stages.
Yeah.
For frozen shoulder causes, many times sometimes it's diabetes, sometimes it is some injury because of if you had a fracture or maybe some neck pain, you could not move your shoulder for a long amount of time, it leads to frozen shoulder. Age is also one cause. So shoulder is one joint. If you will not move it even for 2 to 3 days, it is not going to get stiff. It gets stiff very soon. So if you have a cause like diabetes or a fracture wherein you were not able to move your shoulder for a long amount of time, it does it.
And Radha Venugopal Nair is asking that, is there any remedy for tailbone pain?
Yes, many remedies for tailbone pain. You can take a hot soak. You especially get pillows for tailbone pain, wherein they are U-shaped pillows. You can use them for sitting. When you must sit over them, you will not give pressure to your tailbone. As in, you are not weight bearing on that. When you sit usually on a sofa or a chair, you are sitting on your tailbone. Try using that U-shaped pillow. That is going to reduce the pressure on your tailbone. If you did not have any injury, no fracture, if it is just because of your weight or maybe some arthritis, hot fermentation there is going to help you use this pillow. that is really going to work for you.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. I think with this we came to an end of the webinar. And thank you so much, everyone, all the audience, and especially Riddhi for joining us and agreeing to do this session for us, especially. And next week we are coming with a session on tax savings. I hope everyone will be interested for the session, and see you all next week. Thank you so much, Riddhi, once again.
Thank you so much. My pleasure interacting with everyone. And thank you, Etika, for giving me this extremely important chance